arrive at. But before then, let's get your thoughts first and foremost of the entire scenario, the conference holding.
Yeah, initially I was really against the conference because I thought it would just be a talk shop with no powers to validate its recommendations, and I was against it. But you know, I've seen so many interventions, so many write-ups, so many people have spoken that look, if you have a dire situation, which is what the country is in, there are two ways you can overcome it. Either violently or peacefully by talking to each other. And I think the forces that have gripped Nigeria are so powerful that we cannot match them, you know, if we stand blow to blow with them. The only option then is to, let's see if we can negotiate ourselves out of the corruption we're in, out of lack of development, out of bad governance, out of virtual collapse of everything in the society. By talking, you know, the thing is, if we don't talk, I am now of the opinion that then it's like we've given up hope. And it's like we're saying to ourselves, to your tents, O Israel.
That would be more dangerous.
Exactly. So no matter the pessimism we have that at the end of the day the recommendations might not be enforced, I think it's still important that we talk, because in talking we will make progress. Certain issues will be addressed, and I believe that the time will come when there will be a groundswell of opinion. For example, if you look at the oil or the fuel subsidy crisis that erupted, the authorities were forced to even do the little they've done because of pressure from NGOs, from civil society groups, and from the general populace. So I believe that, you know, if the conference takes place and people come to ventilate legitimate aspirations and grievances, definitely the nation will be better off for it.
But one also wonders, do you see institutions as the National Assembly, maybe even the courts, having this mindset that, look, yes, people need to talk, and that for the fact that they're speaking about these things, they want to address it. They shouldn't just be hard and fast about what the law says about referendum or what should happen to the resolutions there. They should also have at the back of their minds seeking a solution.
You see, the vested interest definitely will not want change. The vested interest who are enjoying the status quo will not want change. They're going to resist it. They're going to put all kinds of blockades and roadblocks in the way of achieving it. But we're not just to sit down, fold our arms without giving them a fight. Definitely the National Assembly, who is one of the chief beneficiaries of what we have now. Because nobody really can see a situation where the National Assembly will sit down and reduce its earnings, which nobody knows about. They have so many vested interests, they won't do it. But the thing is, like I said, if there is this, you know, uprising amongst the people that, look, we want these things to change. We no longer want you guys to earn so much. We want part-time legislators. We no longer want the executive to earn so much. We want this, we want that. We might not get 100%. But I say even if we get 10, 15%, it's progress. We will be better off than where we're coming from. Now, how do we legitimize the recommendations? To my mind, the best way to do it is to have a referendum. Do the people of Nigeria, for example, if the National Conference says, when it comes to representation or when it comes to revenue sharing, this is the best formula. I think in a referendum, that question should be put to the entire nation. Do you want this to change or do you want the status quo? You vote yes or you vote no.
Who's going to conduct it? I mean, how will they hold?
Well, it will be conducted by the federal government. The federal government can conduct a referendum, just as they're holding a national conference.
Are you not disturbed about the amount of money that's being spent for this conference?
Yes, like businessmen say, to make money, you need to spend money. If we want to get good governance, I think it's a small price to pay to improve things in our nation. Mind you, people are stealing far, 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 far greater sums for worthless causes. So if they say, look, it's going to cost us, I believe the figure being thrown around was about 7 billion towards the conference. It's pittance compared to the missing, is it 20 billion US dollars, 12 billion US dollars subsidy on kerosene. So compare the two. I would rather we spend that kind of money on a venture that might at the end be profitable.
What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't work out?
Well, if it doesn't work out, we will not be accused of not trying to solve the situation. One of the primary roles the media plays, and this is why you get people to come every day to come and talk, is so that society will improve. If we don't talk, people remain ignorant, and people accept the status quo. They think that, well, yes, for 12 billion US dollars to be missing from our coffers is fine.
And as a matter of fact, when you think about the groundswell of opinion that will arise, after holding the conference, you can only think of a win-win situation, because even if you talk and they don't implement, you know that this adds up to what you've said previously.
Exactly.
So if another were to happen.
Exactly. People will build on it. And when the time comes to either amend the Constitution or to change governmental institutions, the recommendations are there for people who really care to implement.
But then, just looking through some of those recommendations, the issues that they will be discussing, they've said, look, don't go to this area. The indivisibility of Nigeria is not negotiable. But you saw the Northern Elders Conference. Yes, the Northern Elders Forum. They held this meeting, and they were talking about the expectations, modalities for the conference, the legality of the conference. Are you concerned about anything they raised?
No, look, it's like a basket of ideas. Everybody should bring their ideas to the table. And then at the end of the day, they've said recommendations of the national conference will be passed either by consensus or by 75% majority. So if the ideas they bring are acceptable to the generality of other delegates at the conference, and it passed those tests, fine. It is not, mind you, even at that stage, it is not binding on the nation. So we still need to subject it to what I think should be a referendum. So that, because you don't prevent anybody from ventilating their grievances. Let everybody come, black, white, short, tall, fair, dark, professional, artisans.
You know, like you said you started out not supporting the national conference.
Yes.
Now, some other people have come up to raise issues about the challenges that the conference had before it even came together. They say it had, in terms of like nomenclature, national dialogue, national conference, confusion back and forth, no streamlined thoughts, patterns. They even looked at the legality of the national conference. These are all challenges that seem to be lying at the doorstep to the conference. I mean, is it still possible to step across with all those challenges?
It is possible to overcome all those challenges, because look, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a piece of cake for the planners, for the delegates. To me, the problems that they have now are teething problems. They're baby problems. The real problem comes in validating those recommendations. Well, you know, people say we are not represented. We don't. The federal government doesn't have the powers. They don't do this. All those things, yes, they're there. But we need to forge ahead. We can't just say, oh, because look, no matter what you propose, you're going to always have people who disagree with you. And we can't say all the time, because you can never get a situation whereby all the populace of Nigeria